वर्ल्ड हेल्थ ऑर्गेनाइजेशन ने डिफाइन किया है, हेल्थ इज अ स्टेट ऑफ कंप्लीट फिजिकल, मेंटल एंड सोशल वेलबींग एंड नॉट मेयरली एन एब्सेंस ऑफ डिजीज और इन्फॉर्मिटी। इसके बाद आता है ऑक्यूपेशनल हेल्थ, ये मैं पढ़ दे रहा हूँ। द प्रमोशन एंड मेंटेनेंस ऑफ द हाईएस्ट डिग्री ऑफ फिजिकल, मेंटल एंड सोशल वेलबींग ऑफ वर्कर्स इन ऑल ऑक्यूपेशंस, द प्रिवेंशन among workers of departures from health caused by working conditions, the protection of workers in their work environment from risks resulting from factors adverse to health, the placing in an occupational environment adapted to his physiology and psychological equipment, and to some dust suppression at the source। और अगर मिनिमल कुछ स्प्रेड होता है तो उसका प्रोपोगेशन को रोकना और पीपीईज यूज करना। नेक्स्ट है सिलिकोसिस, जो कि अगेन 21/7/1952 21/7/1952 को नोटिफाई हुआ। इट इज कॉज्ड फ्रॉम डस्ट कंटेनिंग सिलिका एंड इट कॉजेज लंग डिजीज। इसका भी मेथड ऑफ प्रिवेंशन जो है सेम है, डस्ट सप्रेशन एट द सोर्स एंड देन प्रिवेंशन फ्रॉम प्रोपोगेशन ऑफ द मिनिमल जो जनरेट हो रहा है उसको, और देन यूज ऑफ पीपी। देन देयर इज मैंगनीज पॉइजनिंग, इट वाज नोटिफाइड इन 18/12/1956। It is caused from long-term exposure to manganese dust. It results in neurological disorders. And again, the method of prevention is same. You have to minimize the dust generation at the source, prevent its propagation in the atmosphere, and then use of PP. Then there is asbestosis. It was notified on 26/6/1986. It is caused from asbestos fibrous dust. It also results in lung disease. Then there is cancer of lungs, stomach, and pleura. It was notified on 26/6/1986. It is caused due to exposure to asbestos fibrous dust and other carcinogens, any cancer-causing agents. It results in cancer of lungs, stomach, and pleura. Then there is noise-induced hearing loss. It was notified on 21/2/2011, caused due to long-term exposure of high-intensity noise, results in total threshold shift or permanent threshold shift. Then there is contact dermatitis. Contact dermatitis, which was notified on 21/2/2011, it is caused due to direct contact with chemicals. और इसको prevent करने के लिए you will have to avoid direct contact with chemicals and by use of PPEs. And the eighth one is the pathological manifestations due to radioactive elements. It was notified on 21/2/2011 and it is caused due to long-term exposure to radioactive substances. It results in cancer and genetic disorders. And again, it can be you can prevent it by avoiding direct contact with radioactive substances and by use of PPEs. Now, out of these notified diseases, I will come to silicosis, which is one of the notified disease, and I will focus on silicosis. So silicosis is one of the oldest known occupational disease and is the most common worldwide. While there are no immediate estimates of the number of people suffering from silicosis, it is known to occur among miners, foundry workers, stone cutters, sandblasters, canal workers, and rock drillers. There is no cure for silicosis. Therapy can only relieve symptoms, treat complications, and prevent respiratory infections. All forms of silicosis lead to complete respiratory failure and death. In India, the problem of silicosis needs more attention because the workforce subjected to persons cannot afford costly medical treatment due to poverty. Due to reduced lung capacity and continued ailment, the work person is rendered jobless and finally dies. The poor family gets ruined. Hence, it is the duty of all stakeholders that all out efforts are made to protect our human resources from being subjected to this dreaded disease. To achieve this, it is necessary that a more human approach is taken to ensure that advanced technology for effective dust control are adopted, regular medical examination of the worker is done, PPEs are made adequately available, records of employment are properly maintained, medical relief or compensations are provided to the affected, mine or plant operators are made aware of their obligations toward healthcare issues of the workforce. Now, what are the causes of silicosis? Silicosis is a lung disease caused by inhalation of particular type of fine crystalline silica dust and it is untreatable. So what is the size of the dust particle that causes it? It is less than 10 micron size, reaching the lung usually stays back and starts consolidating. In few years, embody the permanent disabilities and finally death. So what are early symptoms of silicosis? It causes fatigue, pain in chest, and respiratory failure. Now, diagnosis of silicosis. Silicosis is often confused with other diseases due to lack of awareness. Even medical practitioners need training for correct diagnosis. Normally detected during periodic medical examination. Lung functions are mild, restrictive, or mixed pattern till late stage. Chest X-ray shows critical fine granular opacities initially, and large shadows indicate examination should incorporate chest X-ray, sputum examination of TB and spirometry. Prevention of silicosis: reduce dust generation process, suppress dust at the point of generation, minimize exposure of workmen to dust, encourage mechanization for reducing or eliminating dust through operators cabin, medical surveillance of workmen, that is IME or PME, goals of silicosis from silicosis. Sources of generation of dust in mines. Now we will come what are the sources of generation of dust in mines. Drilling of blast holes, cleaning and scanning of blast holes, blasting, dressing of loose rocks, cascading, sweeping of fines, mineral and waste handling, movement of rolling stock on haul roads, rock crushing, grinding, milling, screening, pulverizing, road dressing, waste dumping on the haul roads, and use of dust mask. So, for wet drilling, water is pumped through the drill rod directly on the tip of drill bits, either from machine mounted or separate water tank. Water droplets in the bathing air trap dust. Recommended water flow rates are below 0.1 and 2.0 gallons per minute. The dust collection, once it is suppressed, but still there is chances of minimal dust being airborne. So how you will prevent that airborne dust from being hazardous? So dust collection. Collection of dust using exhaust fan and shrouds of rubber or cloth near the place where drill rod enters the ground. Machines fitted with other types of dust extractor. So we will have to use dust extractor and shrouds of rubber or cloth near the place where drill rod enters the ground. Now even then it reaches the atmosphere, then we will have to use PPs like dust mask. Despite wet drilling, use of dust mask for drillers is recommended because there is always some leakage of air through the passage between shroud or collar and ground, causing dust to get airborne. The dust control during blasting. Taking shelter in blasting shelters placed in the reverse direction of wind, ensuring minimum waiting period for entry of workmen in the mine after blast to allow setting of dust in the environment. Quantity of charge and quantum of delay in blast holes to be adjusted for minimum throw. In-hole delays in soft strata, use of water as stemming material and water spray on blasted material. But these are some of the methods by which you can control dust during blasting. Dust control on haul roads, you can see from the photograph. Now we have dust control at loading and dumping points. Drenching of blasted material with water before start of loading operation. No overloading of mineral or waste. Transporting points. And then it is optimize the height of fall of material at tipping or transfer points. Enclosed transfer points to prevent dust getting airborne, and by plantation of all inactive waste dumps. Now, once any person employed in mine contact this occupational disease. So, what is the process by the management? So, notice of disease you have to give under section 25 of the Mines Act 1952. Read with regulation 9 of the Coal Mines Act 2017. Now, what is this notice? How you will explain this? Where any person employed in mine contacts any disease notified by the central government in the official gazette under section 25 of the Mines Act 1952, the owner, agent or manager shall within 3 days of his being informed of the disease give notice in prescribed form to the Chief Inspector of Mines, Regional Inspector, Inspector of Mines Medical, the District Magistrate and to the competent authority for payment of compensation. What is the compensation for industrial disease, which has been to some extent been given in Rule 29, end of the Mines Rule 1955. If as a result, this throws light on disability allowance and compensation for occupational disease. Any person who on medical examination is found medically unfit to discharge the duty which he was discharging in a mine immediately before such examination. So, if this is the case, then disability allowance shall be payable at the rate of 50% of the monthly wages that he was in receipt of immediately before presenting himself for the medical examination. That is it is self-explanatory, but I will also explain even then that if anyone contracts occupational disease, then he will have to give the disability allowance, which will be 50% of the wage which he was getting before such medical examination of the job in which he was employed. So next is, if a person decides to leave his employment, if he contracts any occupational disease and due to that if he decides to leave his employment in mind, then he shall be entitled to compensation as he was admissible under the provisions of the, as he may be admissible under the provisions of the Workers' Compensation Act 1923. So by this PPT, I have tried to throw some light on occupational health and the notified disease and silicosis. One of the notified is silicosis, and what are the provisions, the statutory provisions for if it is contacted, then how you have to give notice, what are the disability allowance that a person receives, or what compensation he can receive. So I hope this has been fruitful, and I can share this PPT which I have made. And any questions or queries, if I can answer, then I will. Thank you.